5, he made it stick. No, he gets away early on because he's got some great rhythm. Cal Crutchlow at the moment is in 4th ahead of Stefan Bradl, but he's being passed by Thomas Magro. A good side of Stefan Bradl. Needs to be aggressive though, hard to overtake around this Portimao circuit if he's got aspirations of winning his first Grand Prix for KTM on his last opening lap. So Oliveira through the first 3 sectors of this opening lap already over 6/10 of a second clear. We're looking back from Franco. Gone up to 12th now ahead of Dovi as we come around turn 15, then the final turn here in Portugal. And Miguel Oliveira in so far, so... Yeah, plan A has been executed to perfection. 6/10 of a second clear then of Franco Morbidelli in second place. Cal Crutchlow, which means, Pecco Bagnaia. What's happened here? It looks like he's hurt his arm here. It looks like he's in terrible pain. Yeah, he's just lost a load of places as well. He's just dropped back down to 20th. What's happened to the world champion? Quattararo regrouped after a really slow in 7th. So there's Quattararo ahead of Viñales, Zarco and Rins. Rins at the moment then in 10th. That would not be good enough for second in the world champion. Pecco Bagnaia maybe. Who knows? We'll try and find out exactly what happened to the pair of them. And what happened to Brad Binder? A terrible spat. So Mir's made up 1 place on his good mate. Didn't have to work for that position now. The Miguel Oliveira starting for a second. Pecco Bagnaia, as we suspected, he's retired. It's really Lisbon. Nothing else to real. But Stefan Bradl in the team bike was Stefan Bradl. Best qualifying in 6 years since Sepang 2014. Outstanding ride by him so far this weekend. I'm afraid it looks like he's just asked too much of it. He had brilliant rhythm as well. He was fast this morning, but he crashes at turn 1. His leader 7/10, nearly 8/10 clear of Franco Morbidelli. Astonishing early speed by Oliveira. No one can touch him right through this race either in terms of tyre life and who's gone for the right option. It's that rare occasion, isn't it, where we're sort of on the 3rd lap of a race and it's as you Magro. How much of a costly mistake was that by him coming through turn 2 that he would have lost a couple of places. And once again, the cult status in Portugal, hasn't he? Miguel Oliveira, he's just going to be cementing that. Cristiano Ronaldo might be the 2-legged star. He's back through, so Quattararo then 8th, Rins in 9th. Yeah, Fabio Quattararo, not a race he was expecting, thought to turn 5 we go. Rins really close to the tail here of Fabio. Just in the background there is Taka Nakagami as well. At the moment, what this means is that the Triple Crown is going to elude Suzuki because Jack Miller's 3rd place, that will get the... Just to remind people about, as Rins is told to go to mapping 2, about Miguel Oliveira, Matt. In the last couple of races, he's halfway. Now, I'm not saying that that's going to happen here. We don't really know. He's got brilliant rhythm and he's much quicker here than he was in Valencia, full stop. Real nice buffer. What is it? He's back in the 39s. Back in the 39s, 2.9 seconds clear. Franco Morbidelli and Jacko, they were both 0.3 of a second slower than Oliveira, who's brilliantly gone back into those 139s. That's outstanding pace. Yeah, he's a class of... Has made some places up. He's just gone through on Dovi. Aleix Spargaro has now passed Maverick Viñales. So it's going from disastrous 20th in qualifying. He's 16th at the moment. He's got a long gap to bridge to Valentino Rossi in 15th spot right now. In here, no top 6 since Catalunya and ending the season out of the top 3 overall, isn't it? Cal Crutchlow then has finally lost 4. Now, how much of the time has he got to recover to Jack Miller ahead of him? Quite a lot, 2.5 seconds through sector 3. That was the gap. Good pace is Johan Zarco, his Sponsorama Ducati rider. Meanwhile, out front is Miguel Oliveira. Here's the point 1. He extends his lead to 3.2 seconds. Doesn't matter what Morbidelli and Miller do, they just cannot run the right now. Fabio Quattararo desperately trying to hang on to what at the moment is 9th place. Taka Nakagami trying to fight his quite a bit of weakness. No problem for Franco Morbidelli. No problem for KTM as well. Too well to Ducati that Danilo Petrucci was hoping for. He's had a miserable weekend. Then Mir goes to the inside and he clatters through the arm of Pecco Bagnaia. That's what we thought. Sort of shoulder ligament damage, doesn't it? Or something horrible. Painful ending to 2020 for poor old Pecco Bagnaia. That's his 4th DNF. We will keep our eye on him, but I don't think there's any major drama at the moment for the Portuguese man. Jack Miller here in 3rd place on drama with the world champion at turn 3 in this race. Clattered into the side of poor old Pecco Bagnaia and forced him out of the race. Mir 16th right now. He's got to find 2.5 seconds at least to get a point to start his... We were already gone because of Oliveira, but his chances of podium again slipping away. Crutchlow goes through a bit, and now he's wide. So deep was Crutchlow. Rins is closing as well. He's found some decent rhythm in the last couple of laps. Really exciting battle. This isn't it, raging for fourth on those three men ahead of him. And what's happening is while they're engaging, this is bringing Rins and Nakagami back into the hunt as well. Will be. Well, 10 laps to go. That was when everybody was expecting there to be the drop. Fabio Quartararo talked about it yesterday, saying that this circuit, what they might have anticipated. Quartararo though 12th, Vinales 14th, Rossi 15th. Through on Franco Morbidelli. You're looking here though at this huge battle for fourth place. Yeah, this is like a Moto3 scrap, this is, isn't it? Rider. Then it's Bradl. He's still just doing awesome. It's such a great sight to see Stefan Bradl. The runner-up in the championship. Franco Morbidelli's got that one stitched. That's the way he ended Warburg. To go into the race with that fresh in his mind, the last experience he had on that Repsol Honda was flying through the gravel track to replace Marc Marquez after that season-ending horrible right arm injury. He's picked up a bunch of point scoring finishes, Stefan Bradl. This is 12 to go. Last lap, just Morbidelli slightly quicker than Miguel Oliveira. The gap remains at 3 points side of Bradl. That might have just disturbed the air in that braking zone. I don't know whether Rins was reacting to Bradl ahead of him, and then Nakagami concentration. And once these tyres start dropping, it's going to become even harder to stay on circuit with these beasts. So there could yet be some late drops. Experiencing just a few fatigue, stamina issues maybe. Sector 2 has been brilliant for Miguel Oliveira, and this is his race time at all. He's actually just extended his lead on this lap again, back to Franco Morbidelli. Well, they were almost 20 years at Yamaha, weren't they, Tech 3, and did not win a single race. They're about to robbed Jack Miller and Pol Espargaro, but there's going to be no doubting who deserves this one. His lead now, he's not had anything like spectacular speed, but what he's always had is that consistency. Dovizioso will get to a last got the consistency, and that's why he's just started to ghost his way towards that battle for fourth. Board with Dov in the 2020 Yamahas. They're really embarrassing right now. Quartararo, Vinales and Rossi are all together in 13th for the supposedly inferior spec motorcycle, fighting for yet another podium finish. From 8th to 15th, Joan Mir just hasn't been able to get going at all. He's lapping in the 141s. Yeah, it's been a very miserable start to his reign of MotoGP World Champion, has it? Oliveira is still doing low 140s. It's all over. Full of big contacts in this race. You just wonder whether there's perhaps some damage. Yeah, there must be. Yeah, there must be something wrong, hey? The motorcycle. So Joan Mir, the world champion, his first race as a world champion is a retirement. Well, he'd be relieved. It was all signed in. It's not going to be the Triple Crown for Suzuki. Hopes still rest with Alex Rins. It's a fairly tame surrender of the fight for kind of scenarios. The Suzuki, with his ability to manage the tyres very, very well, you'd think that Alex Rins would be coming on particularly strong. It's a bit doom and gloom in the garage today. Commiserating today, unfortunately. Jack Miller is closing on the tail here of front, still 4 seconds ahead is Miguel Oliveira. 40 flat again from Oliveira. Credit to Morbidelli and to Miller. Jack Miller singer again here between Morbidelli and Miller. Gets worse for Suzuki. Rins has just lost 2 places. Alicia Spargaro's gone up in the top 10. Not sure that he suffered turn 8 on Friday. Climbing that's a bit close between Maverick Vinales and Fabio Quartararo. Valentino Rossi's closed up on these problems when you have already wrapped up the MotoGP World Championship, I guess. Absolutely. Again, sheer evaporating here because Quartararo and Maverick Vinales are coming on strong again all of a sudden. Vinales in particular, he's just done it. So Alex Rins then now, an onslaught coming from factory Yamahas. That was close between Vinales and eventually he does make a move on Fabio Quartararo, but Fabio's going to have another look back through. Can now see how far away these guys are from the race leader. Miguel Oliveira in the box in the top left-hand corner of your screen. Is that Alex Marquez? No, it's Stefan Bradl who's famous in Dovi, as he's done in the past. He's starting to. Dovizioso's speed has been flatlining throughout the whole race. He's just been able to keep his rhythm, and while everybody else is encountering late tide, it's been another kind of steady Eddie show, hasn't it, from Dovi? Now Crutchlow still in contention for a top 5. Electronic problems, we understand, for Joan Mir, which has put him out. Technical problems falling the world champion on the factory GSX-RR. Jack Miller, that's winner in 2 of the last 3 races. A fantastic end to the season for the Italian who we're on board with now. Jack Miller would love just to get one more place on the podium on his departure. departure for the Pramac Ducati team. Here comes Dovizioso, and Dovizioso just blitzed through on Zarco. Nakagami's coming through as well. I mean, so is Stefan Bradl at Le Mans in the wet, and his first dry top 5, get this, since the Grand Prix of Styria. Incredible. 7 days ago, that day was the fight for the win. This is the fight for the podium place with Miguel Oliveira long, long gone. On board here with Franco Morbidelli. Beautiful throttle grip. Is there going to be a change for second place? It's not quite the spec awesome. He's not put a foot wrong. He made the perfect start from pole position, and once he was able to open up that gap, he's controlled it. I mean, he's still doing it quicker than Franco Morbidelli ahead of him. This looks like it's going to be another last lap showdown, doesn't it, between this pair? He's made up another place. He's back-to-back top 10s for Relatia at the moment. The amount of time that Jack Miller spent behind Franco Morbidelli over the last looking on, and their man who, since Misano, has just come alive. What a Quartararo would not be the top man in Petronas Yamaha. It would be Franco Morbidelli who's going to be the top Yamaha man in the chip indeed. And he's not going to get the machinery upgrade next year as well. That was confirmed some weeks ago by Lynn Jarvis. Jack, as good as Miguel Oliveira's raced to win this Grand Prix, it looks like, you've got to give an enormous amount of credit as well to Frank. A couple of things: power and rear grip. Yeah, that's going to be easy to find, isn't it, for a Yamaha engineer throughout the winter? And it does not matter what Jack Miller does, and trust us, he's thrown everything at Franco Morbidelli. He will find out what Jack's got. There's a lap and a bit left of this Grand Prix of Portugal. Miguel Oliveira's winding it down, and Maverick Vinales, but Cal won't see him, and that was close. Yeah, Crutchlow in the early stages was really looking strong. An emotional day for him and Alex Briggs as they say goodbye to this man, Valentino Rossi. They're not moving over with him to Petronas Yamaha SRT. Far, Alex Marquez has had a strong end to this race as well. Johan Zarco's going to lose another place. Factory are brilliant. A 140 flat. Fastest man on the circuit yet again. He did say he can keep tie life from Miguel Oliveira. Well, what can you say? There is Hervé Poncharal and his daughter Mathilde. I can't see him throwing it away now. Nothing else you can say. That big banner says, "Welcome home, Miguel. The whole of Portugal are behind you, and they will be loved here." He's got to have a look. You know he's going to have a look. Here it comes. Up the inside from Jack Miller. It's the block pass for Morbidelli, holding further up. Victory last weekend in Valencia. Looks like Miller's going to take second place late on, but it's been a Miguel masterclass here in Portimao. On the KTM, and Miller does get a bit of personal revenge over Morbidelli. He finishes second with Morbidelli, and across the line there, Dovi is sixth ahead of a brilliant Bradl and Alacia Spargaro. Grazie Danilo, grazie dude. An absolutely perfect race. Made the start from pole position, got the gap, built the gap, and then never Oliveira. Pressure, what pressure of racing in home soil. Unbelievable. Number one, Miguel, that was no other way you can describe it. Look at these guys. Hervé Poncharal is heading over towards Simon.
This is the second time I've got to congratulate you on a win. How does this one feel? Even more dominant.
Oh, this one, yeah, here from, the exit of the grid till the flag, there was nobody here to take three. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks to Simon, thanks to Hervé Poncharal, of course, that lovely gesture. Casey Stoner on the Ducati GP7. What a missile that was in a straight line, the 800cc Ducati. Almost fourth. Love that pit board there. Thanks, Cal, from the LCR Honda squad. That's awaiting Cal Crutchlow winning World Championship. Let's hear from Pit Byron. I'm sure he's delighted with Carl, and of course, with Miguel Oliveira. 3 wins.
Yeah, I don't know what to say. It's just amazing. I mean, it's third win, home GP for Miguel. We are fifth in the MotoGP, but I would say we are really arrived in this MotoGP paddock, and I'm really thankful that we came here. Big congratulations.
Outside the LCR Honda garage, what a career they've had together since he joined in 2015. What a year it's been for Tech 3. What a year for KTM as well. Valentino Rossi's factory Yamaha to Petronas Yamaha SRT next year.